16 years ago, a man died on his bedroom floor in Grand Prairie, Texas. 7 stab wounds to the chest and abdomen. Blood pooling beneath him as he reached for the door, desperate to escape. His killer stood over him, watched him bleed out, then tried to burn the house down to hide the evidence. The flames failed, but the killer didn't. He walked away that night, disappeared into the Texas suburbs, and built a normal life. A wife, 2 kids, soccer games on Saturday mornings, neighbors who waved from driveways and borrowed lawn mowers. For 16 years, he was invisible, just another face in the crowd. But he left something behind that August night. A single drop of blood on a windowsill. A genetic signature that would wait in silence until science caught up. Until a family tree spanning 2 centuries finally whispered his name. Before we dive into how justice closed a 16-year gap, let us know where you're watching from and what time it is at your location. If you're fascinated by cases where time can't hide the truth, don't forget to hit subscribe. We're about to show you how 1 drop of blood brought down a killer who thought he was safe. Grand Prairie, Texas, August 2008. The heat doesn't break, even after the sun sets. Channing Drive sits in the heart of a quiet suburban neighborhood. The kind of street where kids draw chalk figures on driveways and everyone knows their neighbors' names. 2-story homes with American flags hanging from porches. Trimmed lawns, basketball hoops casting long shadows under yellow streetlights, the hum of air conditioners working overtime against the relentless Texas summer. But on the night of August 14th, something shatters the rhythm of normalcy. At 9:47 p.m., dispatch receives the call. Fire, residential structure, Channing Drive, the Grand Prairie Fire Department rolls out, engines wailing through the humid night, red lights painting the neighborhood in urgent pulses. First responders arrive within minutes to find smoke pouring from the windows of a single-story ranch house. Gray plumes billowing into the dark sky, catching the glow of street lamps. The firefighters move fast, gear on, axes ready, hoses uncoiled. The front door gives way. Inside, the air is thick with smoke and the acrid stench of burning carpet, melting plastic, scorched wood. They push through the living room, the kitchen, searching for survivors. That's when they find him, Marcus Webb, 45 years old, homeowner, lying on the bedroom floor. The flames hadn't reached him yet, but it doesn't matter. He's already gone, not from the fire, from something else. The first firefighter who sees the body freezes, calls over his shoulder. The captain approaches, kneels, examines. Blood, too much blood. Patterns on the floor that don't match a fall or smoke inhalation. The captain's jaw tightens. He keys his radio, speaks low. "We need PD, now." By 10:15 p.m. the fire is out. The house is a shell, water-damaged and charred, but the bedroom is mostly intact. Yellow crime scene tape goes up, stretched between mailbox and fence post. Neighbors gather on the sidewalk, arms crossed, whispering. Flashing lights bathe the street in alternating red and blue. Nobody on Channing Drive sleeps that night. Detective Sergeant Kevin Torres arrives at 10:42 p.m., 38 years old. 12 years with Grand Prairie PD, 6 in homicide. He steps out of his sedan, tie loosened, sleeves rolled up. The heat hits him like a wall. He nods to the uniform at the tape, ducks under, approaches the house. The fire investigator meets him at the door. Arson, accelerant used, bedroom closet looks like, but the Vic was already dead when it started. Torres processes this. Already dead. Yeah, you'll see. Inside, the house smells like death and destruction. Torres moves carefully, stepping over debris, avoiding puddles of water mixed with ash. The bedroom is a crime scene within a crime scene. Marcus Webb lies on his back near the bed, eyes open, one arm reaching toward the door as if he tried to crawl. His shirt is soaked through with blood, dark and thick. Torres counts 3 visible wounds, chest and abdomen, defensive wounds on the hands, stabbed multiple times. Then someone tried to burn it all away. The forensic team arrives. Photographs, measurements, evidence markers placed like small yellow flags on a battlefield. The medical examiner arrives at 11:30 p.m., confirms what Torres already knows: homicide, cause of death, exsanguination from multiple stab wounds, time of death, estimated between 7 and 9 p.m. Torres steps outside, breathes in the night air. It's still oppressively hot, but cleaner than inside. He watches the forensic van unload more equipment. This is the critical window, the first 24 hours, the time when cases are solved or go cold. Detective. One of the techs, a young woman named Rachel Ortiz, waves him over. She's crouched near the bedroom window, illuminating something with her flashlight. Got something? Torres approaches. Ortiz points to the windowsill, a smudge, dark against the white paint. She swabs it carefully, seals it in an evidence tube. Looks like blood, but not the victim's. Different location, different pattern. Torres feels the first spark of hope. The killer cut himself? Maybe, or touched the sill after touching the victim. She holds up the tube, labels it. We'll know soon enough. The investigation moves with methodical precision. The body is photographed from every angle before transport. Blood spatter patterns are documented, cataloged. The arson investigator finds the accelerant container, a plastic gas can, partially melted, in the closet. No fingerprints. The killer wore gloves or wiped it down. But here's the thing about violence. It's messy. No matter how careful you are, you leave something behind. Skin cells, hair, blood, sweat, the microscopic evidence of your presence. By 2:30 a.m., the preliminary search is complete. Torres stands in the driveway, watching the coroner's van pull away. Marcus Webb's body inside, headed for autopsy. The neighbors have finally gone back inside. The street is quiet again, except for the crime scene tech still working. Flashlights bobbing in the dark, windows. Torres knows this case is different. The violence is personal. Stabbing requires proximity, requires rage or desperation or both. The fire is an afterthought, a clumsy attempt to destroy evidence. This isn't a professional. This is someone who panicked. The DNA sample from the windowsill is sent to the lab with a rush order. Torres returns to the station at 4 a.m., starts building the case file. Victim profile: Marcus Webb, divorced 3 years, 2 adult children, both living out of state, worked as an accountant for a commercial real estate firm. No known enemies, quiet life. Neighbors describe him as friendly, reserved, kept to himself mostly. The autopsy is performed the next morning. Dr. Patricia Huang, the county medical examiner, confirms 7 stab wounds, 3 to the chest, 1 puncturing the left lung, 4 to the abdomen, 1 severing the hepatic artery. Defensive wounds on both palms. Marcus tried to fight back. Time of death narrows to 8:30 p.m. Toxicology negative. The murder weapon: a knife with a blade approximately 6 inches long, serrated on one edge. Marcus Webb didn't just die. He fought for his life. He reached for that door. He wanted to live. But someone decided he wouldn't. Torres interviews the neighbors over the next 3 days. Each conversation follows the same pattern: knock on the door, flash the badge. I'm investigating the incident at the Webb residence. Did you see or hear anything unusual that evening? Mrs. Patricia Delgado, 3 houses down. I heard shouting, maybe around 8, but I thought it was a TV show, you know? People watch those crime dramas loud. Mr. Robert Clark, across the street. I saw Marcus's car in the driveway when I got home from work at 6:30. Didn't see anyone else, didn't see him leave. The Flores family, next door. Nothing. We were having dinner, heard the sirens later, saw the smoke. That's when we knew something was wrong. No eyewitnesses, no suspicious vehicles, no strangers lurking. The neighborhood had been quiet, normal, ordinary, right up until it wasn't. Torres pulls security camera footage from a house 2 blocks away. The camera faces the street, captures cars passing. He watches hours of footage, frame by frame. At 7:43 p.m., a dark sedan passes, no license plate visible. At 8:05 p.m., the same sedan heading the opposite direction, faster this time. The image quality is poor, pixelated, useless for identification. Marcus's cell phone records are subpoenaed. The last call he made, 6:15 p.m., to his daughter Nicole, 12 minutes long. Nicole tells Torres they talked about her new job, her father's upcoming visit to see his grandchildren. Normal conversation, nothing alarming. He said he was making dinner, some pasta. He sounded fine, happy even. The last text Marcus received, 7:02 p.m., from a co-worker. "See you Monday," Marcus replied. "You got it." After 7:02 p.m., nothing. No calls, no texts, no internet activity. It's as if Marcus Webb simply ceased to exist digitally, right before someone made sure he ceased to exist physically. On August 18th, the DNA results come back. Torres is at his desk when the lab calls. He listens, takes notes. Male, definitive. The blood on the windowsill came from someone other than Marcus Webb. The profile is clean, strong, ideal for comparison. The lab tech explains they've extracted a full STR profile, short tandem repeat markers, the DNA fingerprint. "This is the best evidence you can have," the tech says. "Whoever left this blood killed your victim." Torres feels the weight of the moment. DNA doesn't lie. It's science, immutable. "Can you run it through CODIS?" "Already uploaded. You'll get a notification if there's a match." CODIS, the Combined DNA Index System, the FBI's national database containing millions of profiles from convicted offenders, arrestees, crime scenes across all 50 states. If the killer has ever been arrested for a felony, if he's ever submitted DNA, the system will find him. Torres waits. Days pass. The investigation continues. He pulls Marcus Webb's financial records, looking for motive. Nothing. No large withdrawals, no debts, no unexplained transactions. He interviews Marcus's ex-wife, his children, his co-workers. Everyone says the same thing. Marcus was a good man. No conflicts, no threats, no one who would want him dead. The CODIS notification never comes. By September, the investigation has exhausted every traditional lead. No eyewitnesses, no forensic evidence except the DNA, no weapon recovered, no suspects. Torres spends late nights at his desk, reviewing the file over and over, searching for something he missed. But there's nothing. The DNA is a ghost, a genetic signature without a name. On September 30th, 2008, the case is classified as cold. The file is marked. All investigative leads exhausted. Marcus Webb's murder is filed in the cold case storage room. A cardboard box labeled Webb, Marcus, 2008, 1147, placed on a metal shelf between other unsolved tragedies. Torres never forgets it. It haunts him. If you've ever wondered how killers slip through the cracks, drop a comment below. And if you haven't subscribed yet, now's the time. We're just getting started. The years pass like water through a sieve. The city of Grand Prairie moves on. The burned house on Channing Drive is repaired, sold to a new family who knows nothing of what happened there. The crime scene tape is long gone, the bloodstains scrubbed away, the walls repainted. Life continues. For Marcus Webb's family, time doesn't heal. His daughter, Nicole, keeps a photo of her father on her desk. His son, Brandon, visits his grave every birthday. Their mother, Marcus's ex-wife, Catherine, wonders if they'll ever know why. The question sits heavy in their chests, an unanswered prayer, a wound that won't close. For Detective Torres, the case is a constant, nagging presence. He retires in 2015, 7 years after Marcus's death, the case still unsolved. At his retirement party, colleagues toast his career, his clearance rate, his dedication. But Torres thinks about the box in the storage room, the killer who walked free. The cold case storage room accumulates dust, budgets tighten, staff turnover, new detectives replace old ones, the institutional memory fades, but the evidence remains, preserved, cataloged, waiting. In 2017, a glimmer of hope emerges. Advances in DNA technology now allow for phenotyping, the ability to predict physical appearance from genetic markers. Eye color, hair color, facial structure, ancestry. The Grand Prairie Police Department, desperate for any lead, sends the unknown killer's DNA profile to a specialized lab. The result? A computer-generated sketch. A face. White male, likely European ancestry, dark hair, brown eyes. The sketch is released to the public on flyers, posted on the department's website, shared on social media. Local news stations run the story. Do you recognize this face? Tips come in. Dead ends, all of them. Someone's ex-husband, a neighbor's cousin, a man at the grocery store. None match. The sketch fades from public consciousness. The case returns to silence. But something is shifting. Not in Grand Prairie. Across the country. April 2018. Sacramento, California. A 72-year-old man named Joseph D'Angelo is arrested and charged with being the Golden State Killer. A serial murderer and rapist who terrorized California in the 1970s and 80s. The method of his capture: forensic genetic genealogy. Investigators used crime scene DNA to search public genealogy databases, found distant relatives, built family trees, narrowed the suspects until only D'Angelo remained. The arrest sends shockwaves through law enforcement. Cold cases, previously thought unsolvable, suddenly have a new path forward. A revolutionary tool. Police departments across Texas take notice. In 2021, the Texas Attorney General's office establishes the Cold Case and Missing Persons Unit, designed to assist local agencies with funding and expertise for exactly this kind of advanced forensic work. The unit provides grants for DNA testing, genealogy research, forensic analysis. It's a lifeline for cases like Marcus Webb's. But Grand Prairie's case remains dormant, not because it's forgotten, because the pieces haven't aligned yet. Then, in 2022, something happens. A routine database comparison. A new protocol implemented by the Texas Department of Public Safety. Crime scene DNA profiles from unsolved cases are cross-referenced with each other, searching for connections, patterns, serial offenders. 2 cases in Fort Worth, just 15 miles from Grand Prairie. Sexual assaults, 2007 and 2009. Both unsolved, both with DNA evidence from an unknown male perpetrator. The profiles are compared against other unsolved cases in the region. A match, partial but definitive. The DNA from the Fort Worth assaults matches the DNA from Marcus Webb's murder. The same man. 3 violent crimes. 3 different victims. Never caught. This discovery changes everything. Marcus Webb's murder is no longer an isolated incident. It's part of a pattern. The killer is a predator, still unidentified, possibly still active. The case is upgraded in priority. Resources are allocated. The Grand Prairie PD reaches out to the Texas Rangers, who have access to grant funding specifically for forensic genetic genealogy. The Webb case is about to be reborn. March 2023. Detective Lisa Navarro, 34, Cold Case Unit, Grand Prairie PD, pulls the Webb file from storage. She's heard about the Fort Worth connection. She reads through Torres's notes, the autopsy report, the evidence log. The DNA is still there, preserved, viable. Navarro contacts the Texas Rangers, explains the case. 3 linked crimes, 1 unknown suspect. The Rangers approve funding for forensic genetic genealogy testing. The DNA sample is sent to Bode Technology, a private lab specializing in this exact work. The process is complex. The lab extracts DNA from the blood sample, generates a high-resolution SNP profile, single nucleotide polymorphisms, hundreds of thousands of genetic markers that reveal not just identity but family relationships. This profile is uploaded to GEDmatch, a public genealogy database where users voluntarily share their DNA data to find relatives. The system searches, compares, returns results, matches, dozens of them. 3rd cousins, 4th cousins, 5th cousins once removed. People who share a common ancestor with the unknown killer, somewhere in the 1800s or early 1900s. None of them are suspects. None of them know they're related to a murderer, but their DNA is the map. The genealogy work begins. Bode Technology partners with a forensic genealogist, a specialist trained in building family trees from genetic data. She takes the list of DNA matches and starts constructing trees, public records, ancestry databases, census data, obituaries, marriage certificates, birth records. She traces lineages back, generation by generation, searching for the most recent common ancestor among the matches. It takes months. The genealogist works methodically, ruling out branches, following promising leads. She builds trees with hundreds of names, spanning continents and centuries. Slowly, the possibilities narrow. By July 2023, she has identified a family cluster, a group of descendants from a couple who lived in East Texas in the 1890s. William and Martha Hutchinson, farmers in Cherokee County. The unknown killer is somewhere in this lineage. The genealogist traces forward, following each branch of the family tree down to the present day. The Hutchinson family tree sprawls like an ancient oak, hundreds of descendants scattered across Texas and beyond. She examines each branch with forensic precision: birth certificates, marriage licenses, death records, social security databases. She cross-references DNA match amounts, calculating degrees of relationship, confirming connections. She identifies 17 living males who are potential candidates based on genetic proximity. Then she applies filters. Geographic location. The killer was in Grand Prairie in August 2008, in Fort Worth in 2007 and 2009. She pulls address histories, employment records, driver's license databases. 9 candidates can be placed in the DFW Metroplex during those years. Age. The killer was male, likely between 25 and 45 years old in 2008, based on behavioral profiling and physical evidence. She eliminates 3 candidates who were too old, 2 who were teenagers. 4 candidates remain. The genealogist examines them one by one. Candidate 1, currently incarcerated for unrelated charges, behind bars since 2006. Eliminated. Candidate 2, military deployment records show he was stationed in Germany from 2007 to 2010. Eliminated. Candidate 3, died in a car accident in 2012. Eliminated. 1 candidate remains. David Allen Mitchell, born 1980, age 28 in 2008, lived in Arlington, Texas, between Fort Worth and Grand Prairie. No criminal record, never arrested. That's why CODIS failed. He was invisible to the system. But the family tree doesn't lie. David Mitchell is the great-great-grandson of the common ancestors identified through the DNA matches. The genealogical evidence is strong, but it's not proof. Not yet. This is where science meets justice. If this story is gripping you, smash that like button and let us know in the comments. Have you ever traced your family tree? How far back did you go? Detective Navarro receives the report in August 2023. David Allen Mitchell. Current address: Lufkin, Texas, 170 miles east. She runs his background, clean, no arrests. Works as a maintenance supervisor for a manufacturing plant. Married, 2 children. On paper, he's ordinary. But the DNA doesn't lie. Navarro coordinates with the Texas Rangers. They need a confirmatory sample, a direct comparison to prove the genealogical lead is correct. They can't just ask Mitchell for his DNA. He'd refuse. And without probable cause, they can't compel him. They need to obtain it covertly. Surveillance begins. In September 2023, Rangers set up in Lufkin, watching Mitchell's movements. They follow him to work, to the grocery store, to his kids' soccer games. They wait for an opportunity. It comes on September 18th. Mitchell stops at a convenience store, buys a bottled water, drinks it while pumping gas. He tosses the empty bottle in the trash can at the pump. The Rangers wait until he drives away. They retrieve the bottle, gloves, evidence bag, chain of custody documented. The bottle is sent to the lab. DNA extraction from saliva residue on the cap. Comparison analysis against the blood from Marcus Webb's murder scene. October 2nd, 2023. The results come back, match, definitive. 17 STR markers compared. All 17 match. The statistical probability of a random match, 1 in 350 trillion. David Allen Mitchell is the killer. Navarro reads the report 3 times, feels her heart pounding. 15 years. 15 years since Marcus Webb died on his bedroom floor. Now they have a name, a face, an address. The legal process begins. Affidavits are prepared. Evidence is compiled. The genealogy report, the confirmatory DNA match, the forensic analysis linking all 3 crimes. A warrant is drafted for Mitchell's arrest, charging him with capital murder, first-degree felony, Texas Penal Code 19.03. The warrant is signed by a judge on October 3rd, 2024. October 4th, 2024. 6:15 a.m. The arrest team assembles. Grand Prairie PD, Texas Rangers, Angelina County Sheriff's Office. They approach Mitchell's house in Lufkin as dawn breaks, the sky painted in streaks of orange and gray. The neighborhood is quiet, lawns wet with dew, cars still in driveways. The lead ranger knocks, 3 sharp raps. A pause. The door opens. David Mitchell stands there, 44 years old now, wearing a t-shirt and jeans, holding a cup of coffee. He looks at the uniforms, the badges, the guns holstered, but visible. David Allen Mitchell? A nod, confusion in his eyes. You're under arrest for the murder of Marcus Webb. You have the right to remain silent. Mitchell's coffee cup drops, shatters on the floor. Brown liquid spreads across the tile. His face goes pale, then red, then pale again. His mouth opens, but no words come out. The Rangers step inside, hands behind the back. Cuffs click into place. Mitchell's wife appears in the hallway. Her scream cuts through the morning quiet. The children's voices, frightened, calling for their father. Neighbors step onto porches, watching, filming with cell phones. Mitchell is led to the patrol car, head down, hands bound. The door closes. The convoy pulls away, leaving the neighborhood in shock. In Grand Prairie, Detective Navarro gets the call. He's in custody. She closes her eyes, breathes, thinks of Marcus Webb, thinks of his children. Justice delayed, but not denied. In Lufkin, the news spreads like wildfire, first through text messages between neighbors. Did you see what happened at the Mitchells? Then through local news. Breaking: Lufkin man arrested in connection with 2008 murder. Then through social media, where Mitchell's Facebook profile is screenshotted, dissected, analyzed by amateur sleuths and true crime enthusiasts. David Mitchell, the maintenance supervisor, the soccer dad, the neighbor who waved from his lawn, who helped jumpstart your car battery last winter, who donated to the high school fundraiser, arrested for murder, for stabbing a man 7 times and trying to burn his body, for a crime 16 years old, committed when many of his current neighbors were still in middle school. The reactions come in waves: disbelief. Not David, there's no way, they've got the wrong guy. Then doubt. I mean, you never really know someone, do you? Then horror. He was at the block party last month. His kids played with my kids. Mitchell's co-workers are interviewed by local reporters. They describe him as quiet, reliable, professional. He never missed a day of work, never caused problems. This doesn't make sense. His wife, Amanda, refuses to speak to the press. She takes the children and leaves town within 48 hours, seeking refuge with family in Louisiana. Her world has collapsed. The man she married, the father of her children, is accused of being a monster. How do you reconcile that? How do you explain that to your kids? The investigation continues, deeper now. Search warrants executed on Mitchell's home. The house is cordoned off. Another crime scene, though no crime occurred there. Forensic teams move through the rooms with methodical care. They seize computers, hard drives, USB sticks. They photograph, they collect. In a locked toolbox in the garage, they find a hunting knife, 6-inch blade, serrated edge. It's sent for analysis. Journals are discovered in a bedroom closet, stacked in a cardboard box. Mitchell's handwriting, entries dating back to 2005. Detectives rid them, searching for confessions, for explanations. They find mundane observations, work complaints, fragments of thought. But in August 2008, there's a gap. No entries from August 10th to August 22nd. 12 days of silence, spanning the murder. The motive remains elusive. Why Marcus Webb? No connection can be found between Mitchell and the victim. They didn't work together, didn't know the same people, didn't frequent the same places. It's as if their lives intersected only once, on the night Marcus died. The Fort Worth sexual assault cases offer a clue. Both victims were women who lived alone. Both attacks occurred in their homes. Both involved forced entry, violence, control. A pattern emerges. Mitchell is a predator who targets the vulnerable, the isolated, the alone. Was Marcus Webb chosen the same way? A single man living alone in a quiet neighborhood, an easy target? Or was there something else? Some trigger? Some reason that died with Marcus on his bedroom floor? Detectives interview Mitchell, but he invokes his right to silence. His attorney present, a sharp woman in a gray suit who answers every question with, "My client has no comment." Mitchell sits stone-faced, hands folded on the table, eyes unfocused, staring at nothing, but the evidence speaks. DNA, genealogy, science. The case is solid. The prosecutor is confident. Marcus Webb's children are notified. Nicole breaks down on the phone. Brandon sits in silence, processing. 16 years of waiting. Now, finally, an answer. Not closure. Can there ever be closure for murder? But something, accountability, justice. The story breaks in the media. Texas cold case solved after 16 years. DNA genealogy leads to arrest in Grand Prairie murder. Suspect arrested in Lufkin for 2008 killing. The headlines multiply. The story shared across social media. The community reacting with a mixture of relief and disbelief. In the Grand Prairie Police Department, a photo is added to the wall of solved cases. Marcus Webb's face. And beneath it, the booking photo of David Allen Mitchell. The case file is closed, 16 years after it was opened. The trial comes in early 2025. The prosecution presents their evidence: DNA matches, genealogy reports, forensic analysis linking Mitchell to all three crimes. The defense argues contamination, coincidence, reasonable doubt. But the science is too strong. The jury deliberates for 6 hours. Guilty, first-degree murder. David Allen Mitchell is sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. He shows no emotion as the verdict is read, no tears, no remorse. Just that same blank stare. As he's led from the courtroom, reporters shout questions. He doesn't respond, doesn't look back. The door closes behind him. He disappears into the prison system. Another face in an orange jumpsuit. Another number. For Marcus Webb's family, the trial brings a bittersweet end. Nicole speaks to the press outside the courthouse, her voice trembling but steady. "My father was a good man. He didn't deserve what happened to him. We've waited 16 years for this day. It doesn't bring him back, but it means he wasn't forgotten." Brandon stands beside her, silent, holding his sister's hand. Inside the police department, Detective Navarro adds a final note to the case file. "Case closed, justice served." She closes the folder, carries it to the archives, places it on the shelf marked "Solved." The work isn't done, not really. Across Texas, cold case units are pulling other boxes from shelves, looking at old evidence with new eyes, wondering, hoping, knowing that time, no matter how much of it passes, doesn't have to be the enemy. Sometimes, with patience and science and determination, time becomes the tool that finally brings the truth to light. The Marcus Webb case is a testament to that truth. A drop of blood, a windowsill, a family tree spanning 2 centuries, and a detective who refused to let a ghost remain nameless. In Grand Prairie, the house on Channing Drive stands quiet. The new family who lives there knows the history now. They've painted the walls again, planted new flowers in the front yard. Life continues. But on August 14th each year, Nicole and Brandon visit their father's grave. They bring sunflowers, his favorite. They tell him about their lives, their children, the things he's missing, and they tell him that the man who took him from them is finally behind bars. That justice, however delayed, finally arrived. Marcus Webb's story isn't just a case closed after 16 years. It's a mirror reflecting modern America's capacity for both failure and redemption. In 2008, the system failed. A killer walked free because traditional methods hit a wall. DNA without a name, a ghost in the database. The technology didn't exist yet to bridge the gap between evidence and identity. But the story also shows what happens when we refuse to give up, when science advances, when detectives keep pulling files from storage rooms, when families keep asking questions. Forensic genetic genealogy is revolutionizing cold case investigations across America. Cases once thought unsolvable are being cracked open. Killers who thought they were safe are being found. The message is clear. There is no statute of limitations on murder. There is no expiration date on justice. The Marcus Webb case also reminds us to question what we see. David Mitchell was the helpful neighbor, the soccer dad, the reliable co-worker. Nobody suspected him. Nobody questioned him. He hid behind normalcy, behind suburban respectability for 16 years. Evil doesn't always announce itself. Sometimes it waves from the driveway. Sometimes it coaches Little League. Sometimes it lives next door. In 2024, as DNA technology becomes more accessible and genealogy databases grow, more families are getting answers. More victims are getting justice. More killers are learning that time is not their ally. If you believe justice can be delayed but never lost, hit that subscribe button. Share this video. Let people know that cold cases are being solved, that the truth, however buried, always finds its way to light. Thank you for following Marcus Webb's story. Drop a comment if this case affected you. Tell us where you're watching from. And remember, every unsolved case is someone's father, someone's daughter, someone's loved one still waiting for justice. See you in the next video, where another truth will rise from the shadows.